All right, Shalom, Yasha'Allah. Back with another GMS on the go. I'm Brother Nakam. I'm with the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. Before I go any further, I'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakar Kodash. Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from teaching us this truth according to the Bible and who rule well. And a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and righteousness and sincerity to the best of your ability. And I was able to get up today through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, that's the Heavenly Father, who the word calls God, which his name means he is or he exists. And Yahweh Shah being the only begotten Son, that's who the word calls Jesus, which his name means he saves or he delivers. And I'm just going to get into a lesson on how the day of the Lord is really going to be, contrary to popular belief. Because right about now, everybody thinks that the day of the Lord, is a time to rejoice. They think that the day of the Lord is fun. Smiles, kisses, laughter, good times. When that's not the truth according to the scriptures. When you open up this Bible and you read it, it tells you how the day of the Lord is really going to be, how it's coming. And the day of the Lord is evil. It's a bad time, and it's nothing to be laughing or joking about. You see? So without further ado, I'm going to grab a couple precepts, and Lord willing, so-called Negroes, Latin Americans will be edified. All right, this is Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. That's right. And that word woe means death and destruction. So death and destruction unto the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans who are desiring, who are happy, of the day of the Lord, of Yahweh Shema Shah, who the word calls God and Jesus return. You see? Woe unto y'all who are desiring the day of the Lord. It reads on. To what end is it to you? Right. So the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans are desiring the day of the Lord to hurry up and come back, to make a speedy return. What end is it to you? Knowing that you've been wicked your whole life, committing a whole bunch of abominations, wicked, filthy acts, gang banging, selling drugs. You see, marring your beards and making baldness upon your head. Smoking weed, cigarettes, blacking mouths, defiling your temple, indulging in sodomy, man with man, woman with woman. Committing adultery, sleeping with the next man's wife, vice versa. Worshiping all these different false gods who are no gods, such as Allah, Buddha, the Hindu goddess Shiva, Santa Maria, Haile Selassie, Baphomet, and so forth on. Celebrating all these different pagan holidays such as Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Halloween, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. You see? Woe unto 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans who will design the day of the Lord. Because the end of it to y'all is death and destruction, because you've been wicked your whole life, not taking heed to the Spirit, not taking heed to the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shema Shah has provided you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans with. And that's starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone down to the men on down, and anybody and any other camps that's coming in the same like mine as Great Millstone who's teaching the truth. You see? So the end of it to 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans is death and destruction. And this is how the day of the Lord is going to be. It reads on. I'm reading from the top again. This is Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it to you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. That's right. The day of Yahweh Shema Shah, who the word ignorantly calls God and Jesus, is darkness and not light. Meaning what? The day of the Lord is going to be a very, very, very bad time, and it ain't going to be no good about it. You see? Because what's good about race riots? What's good about martial law? What's good about a famine of food and thirst? What's good about these pestilence, these diseases? What's good about these brutal animals, out here eating you wicked people to death? What's good about Leviathan? What's good about Bigfoot? What's good about the FEMA camps with the guillotine inside to chop your head off? What's good about the 200 million ICBM missiles that these other nations are going to shoot off to destroy this place called America? What's good about the chariots with the word that calls UFOs with the laser beam of fire coming down from the bottom of it to destroy you wicked people? You see, it ain't nothing good about this stuff. That's why the day of the Lord is darkness, bad and not good, meaning there ain't no light in it. You see, the day of the Lord is a very, very bad time. You see, contrary to popular belief or what you people think. You see, because again, when you open this Bible and read it, it tells you how the day of the Lord is really going to be, how it's coming. And the day of the Lord is coming, and it's going to be a very bad time. It reads on verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and laid his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. And that's right. And that's how the day of the Lord is going to be. 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, y'all actually going to be getting chased and eaten by these brutal animals. You see? You see, you're going to be getting caught up, in a worse predicament. And then if you escape that bad predicament, so like you're going to be getting caught up in a bad predicament. And if you escape that first bad, and it's like if you escape that first predicament, you're going to end up getting caught up in something worse than the first one. You see, so our people might escape the brutal animals, but then you're going to get caught up by the race riots. You might escape the race riots, but then you're going to get caught up by martial law. You might escape the martial law, but then you're going to get caught up by the famine of food and thirst. You might escape the famine of food and thirst, but then you're going to get caught up by these pestilence, these diseases. You might escape all of this stuff that I'm naming, but then you're going to get taken often by the end all be all, the 200 million ICBM missiles, that the other nations are going to send to this place called America, right along with the chariots, which the word calls UFOs, with those concentrated fire coming down from the bottom of it. You see, again, this is what the day of the Lord is going to be. And everything I'm saying, according to the scriptures, that doesn't sound, like smiles, laughter, good times, hugs and kisses, a time to rejoice. Everything I'm naming according to the scriptures, that's evil, bad times, and it's not to be taken lightly. So if you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans happen to come across this video, take heed to the spirit. Because the day of the Lord is a serious time. I'm going to grab my next precept. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, which behold means to look. The day of Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai cometh, cruel. And that's right. So the day of Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai, who the word ignorantly calls God and Jesus, is coming cruel. When we look into that word cruel, it means to willfully cause pain or suffering to others or feeling no concern about it. So the times that we're fastly approaching, the times that we're entering into, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, y'all are going to be suffering. Y'all are going to be going through so much pain. And you see, when y'all start suffering, catching so much pain, Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai, who the word calls God and Jesus, they ain't going to feel no concern about it. You see, why? Because they want to do it to y'all. Because y'all didn't take heed to the men of the Lord that they have set up, that they have provided y'all with. And that's starting with our apostles and other great millstone to the men on down, and anybody that's coming in the same like mine as great millstone. You see? Because y'all didn't want to take heed to the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shai has provided y'all with, to get right, to repent, to turn back sorrowfully, and come back to keeping the laws that come out of the Bible. Yahweh Shai is going to have it to where 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans are going to be suffering, and catching so much pain in these upcoming times. And again, they ain't going to feel no concern about it when y'all start suffering and catching pain, because they want to do it to y'all, because you people are wicked. You see? So again, that's what the definition of cruel means. Willfully causing pain or suffering to others or feeling no concern about it. I'm going to read that from the top again. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, the day of Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. And that's right. And how is Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai going to show that they're coming cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger? By the way of martial law, by the way of the race riots, by the way of these diseases, these pestilence, by the way of famine of food and thirst, by the way of Leviathan, by the way of Bigfoot, by the way of these female cats with the guillotine inside of them to chop you people's heads off, by the way of ultimately the end all be all, the 200 million ICBM missiles that these other nations are going to send over to this place called America and destroy it. Right along with the chariots with the word calls UFOs, with that laser beam of fire coming down from the bottom of it. You see, that's how Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai is going to show that they're coming back cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. And everything that I'm naming, again, according to the scriptures, that doesn't sound, nice. Doesn't sound like smiles, laughter, hugs, kisses, a time to rejoice. It sounds dangerous. It sounds scary. And it is. And that's why you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans need to get your act together, with the God of the Bible, Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shai. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son. Because the time that we're coming into, it's going to be a scary and dangerous time. So take heed, you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. And that's right. And what's going to lay this land, America, desolate, uninhabited? Those 200 million ICBM missiles. When these other nations send off those missiles to destroy this place called America, it's going to leave this place, America, uninhabited, desolate. The only thing that's going to dwell here in America, once this place is destroyed, is things that can withstand the heat, like Komodo dragons, and so forth and so on. It reads on, and he should destroy the sinners thereof out of it. That's right. See, how about Shemal Shah? They're going to destroy the sinners, the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, who are transgressing laws, statutes, commandments, of the Bible. They're going to destroy you out of this place called America, by those missiles, those 200 million ICBM missiles, and the chariots with the word calls UFOs, with a laser beam of fire coming down from the bottom of it. You see, this is what the day of the Lord consists of. This is what the day of the Lord is going to be like. You see. So again, anybody talking about the day of the Lord, is a time to rejoice, happy hours, smiles, laughter, kisses, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. I'm going to jump to verse 6. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of Yahweh by Shemal Shah is at hand. And that's right. And we look into that word howl, it means to cry. And that's exactly what 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans are going to be doing soon come. Y'all going to be doing a whole bunch of howling. Y'all going to be doing a whole bunch of crying. Why? Because the day of Yahweh by Shemal Shah is at hand. To where they're going to bring a whole bunch of plagues and calamities upon the face of the earth. Again, race riots, martial law, famine of food and thirst, these diseases, these pestilence, Leviathan, Bigfoot, the female camps with the guillotine inside them to chop your people's heads off, the 200 ICBM missiles to destroy this place called America, the chariots with the word called UFOs, with the laser beam of fire coming down from the bottom of it, and so forth and so on. You see, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, y'all gonna be howling, y'all gonna be crying, because y'all gonna be left and faced to have to go through the day of the Lord, which is fastly approaching, which the time that we're entering into. It reads on, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. That's right. So the day of the Lord is fastly approaching, and it's going to come as a destruction from the Almighty. Not from Allah, not from Buddha, not from the Hindu god of Shiva, not from Santa Maria, not from Serapis, not from none of these false gods who are no gods that 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans be worshiping. The day of the Lord is going to come as a destruction from the Almighty, Yahweh by Shemal Shah. You see, they're the ones who's bringing this destruction to the face of the earth. So I'm going to grab one more precept and I'm going to close out. And Lord willing, you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans have been edified. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Right. That day that is great is the time that we're fastly approaching. You see? And there ain't been a time on the face of the earth that can compare to the times that we're coming into. You see, 70 AD can't compare to this time. Slavery can't compare to this time. Ancient Egypt can't compare to this time. The flood can't compare to this time. No time on the face of the earth can compare to the times that we're fastly approaching, that we're fastly entering into. And what's going to make this day great so that none is like it? Because you're going to have all these different plagues and calamities coming upon the face of the earth. Race riots, martial law, famine of food and thirst, Leviathan, Bigfoot, spirits created for vengeance, female camps with the guillotine inside to chop your head off. You name it, man, the 200 ICBM missiles, the chariots, which the word calls UFOs, with the laser beam of fire coming down from the bottom of it. That's what's going to make this time great. All these different plagues and calamities, that no other time on the face of the earth can compare to this time. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And Jacob represents you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans. You see, Jacob, our forefather, his name was changed to Israel after he wrestled the angel. You see, so again, Jacob represents you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. And it's the time of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, trouble to where y'all gonna be catching so much hell in these upcoming times. It says, but he should be saved out of it. And that he that's gonna be saved out of it, these troubling times, is the elected nation of Israel. You see? The elected nation of Israel gonna be saved about these troubling times that we're fastly approaching, that we're fastly entering into. But 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, you're going to be left to have to go through the day of the Lord. You're going to see what the day of the Lord is really going to be like soon come. And the day of the Lord is not smiles, it's not laughter, it's not kisses, it's not a time to rejoice. The day of the Lord is definite instructions. So like the day of the Lord is definite instruction. It's a bad and serious time. And 2/3 of our people are about to find out soon come. So with that, I hope you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans have been edified. Before I go any further, I'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakar Kodash. Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach us this truth according to the Bible, who will well, and a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and righteousness and sincerity to the best ability. Till next time, shalom.